Time is 7:51, and now we're honored to be joined by former Greenwich hedge fund manager. He's running for the GOP Republican nomination for the governor of Connecticut. That's David Stemerman. Joins us in studio. He has a law degree from Harvard and an MBA from Harvard Business School. I went to Tuck, so I'm not going to hold that against you.
Thank you.
All right, we know the condition of Connecticut, dire financially. We have the most underfunded liabilities related to pension and health care in the nation. You're running as a Republican. You're an ex-hedge fund guy, which is probably not the most popular image outside of our area. How are you going to win, and what are you going to do to change everything?
So, Jim, thanks very much for having me. The way that I'm going to win is I'm going to present a vision for the state of Connecticut of how we can take our state, which used to be the best place in the country to live, work, and raise a family. It's what brought me and my wife here to raise our 5 children. It's what led me to start a business here, an investment business that we started in 2008, which was the worst financial crisis in 70 years, and to show the people of the state the type of leadership and give them a plan that gives them hope of what we need to do going forward.
And what's your strategy to win as a Republican in a blue state, as an outsider, and as an ex-hedge fund guy in a basically a blue-collar state?
People of this state know that we are very much on the wrong track. And it's our polling work, and it's everywhere. And it's a majority not only of Republicans, but of independents and Democrats as well. And what we're going to put forward is a message about how we're going to turn this place around. And I view for the next governor there are 2 key priorities. The first is to save Connecticut from a financial crisis that threatens our families, our jobs, and our employers. I gave our first major policy speech yesterday at Tracy Elementary School in Norwalk, Connecticut, with a bold proposal with outside-the-box ideas to address our pension crisis, which, as you note, is the largest in the country. We have over $100 billion of liability between unfunded pensions and debt, and we need to deal with it. The second is to provide a vision of growth. You noted that I'm a business person, so I started a business myself from a single desk. I built it into a business that managed billions of dollars in all parts of the economy all over the world. And our success came from the 3 factors that I think are important here. We were willing to make tough decisions. We were able to see opportunities that other people could not. And critically, we were able to build a great team to get it done.
All right. Quickly on the pension side, you have a creative idea, this sort of privatization, right?
Absolutely. So the idea here is that we need to bring in fresh thinking that only, I believe, a political outsider and a business person is willing to do. And we think that private-public partnerships are helpful in a number of areas. One area is in our transportation infrastructure. We believe that you can have private-public partnerships to attract billions of dollars of capital to rebuild our trains, roads, and airports. And we believe we can get the train from New York City to Stamford in 30 minutes and to New Haven in 60 minutes. And here in Greenwich, those would be game changers in all the towns in between. We think there's also an important role for the private sector in our resolving our pension crisis. I view that the liabilities are not understood for how great they are. We need the private sector first to identify how big the problem is, to provide options for what we can do going forward, and critically to manage it properly. Having the state treasurer manage these assets has led to a disaster for our state. They've overestimated the potential returns, they've underdelivered, and that's made the problem even worse.
Now, on the transportation side and revenue enhancement tax side, do we need electronic tolls?
What I'm talking about is who's going to invest in and manage these assets, not about increasing tolls. And so what I've seen all over the world is in airports and in roads, the private sector is making those investments and running them much better. For the airports, for example, in Asia, in Europe, in Latin America, the major airports are almost entirely run by private companies. We in southern Connecticut have one of the largest population centers in the country without a major commercial airport. I think it could be very attractive to build one at the Sikorsky location. In addition, Hartford, which is a former military base, has one of the longest runways in the country, and it's at the intersection of 91 and 84. It would make a phenomenal logistics hub. So what I want to do is to create a business case for businesses to come in, invest billions of dollars. These major transportation infrastructure projects are ones where we can put lots of people to work in great construction jobs, and we can create the foundation for growth to revitalize our cities and our towns.
Okay, in our last couple of minutes, our inner cities, big problems, Bridgeport, Hartford, Waterbury. Do you have ideas for that and education related?
Absolutely. it's critical that our solutions work for all the citizens of Connecticut. Just to give you a sense for my own background, my grandfather, who was the storyteller in our family, grew up in Newark, New Jersey. He was the son of a wallpaper hanger who moved to this country in search of a better life. His mother died when he was 2 years old, and he told us the story about how he went to public schools and was the first one in his family to go to college. He even had us read the words at the base of the Statue of Liberty of "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free," reminding us that we live in the greatest country in human history. The transportation infrastructure projects I described would be game changers for all of the major cities, and we have ideas for New Haven, for Bridgeport, for Hartford, and for Stanford. For schools, my speech, as I said yesterday, was at Tracy Elementary School. Our state has a constitutional responsibility to provide an education for every student. Because of our budget crises, we have not fulfilled our own law, the education cost-sharing formula. We have shorted our students year after year after year. Not only do we need to get our budget in order, we also need to improve educational opportunities. We have a large achievement gap. I believe that we can improve choice, we can improve education financing so that every kid in the state has a great chance to go to local public school, a charter school, a magnet school, or critically also career and technical education so that anyone can get the skills that they need to get a good job.
Okay, Dave, give us your website.
Our website is www.davidstemerman.com. Our plans are there for this, more, and you can get to know me. Jim, thanks so much for having me today.
Thanks for coming. An outsider running, a Greenwich resident, former hedge fund manager, David Stemerman, the Republican nomination for governor. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
WGCH News Center Times, 7:58. We'll be right back.